and say, girl, you better take care. Cause that man is trouble, you best beware. And though deep down, I know I might be.
Hello, friends. Long time no see. I have been an MIA girl over here. Just honestly, life has been lifing. So, but we are back, and I am trying my best to just get my shish together, if you know what I mean, because life has just been crazy. And one of the easiest ways for me to feel like I'm getting myself together is to feel like my home is simplified, and not just my home, but my life is simplified. And during a season that is complex, we want our home to feel simple. So this video is my gift from me to you. Hopefully is inspiring and motivating. And we're just going to be cleaning alongside each other and decluttering alongside each other and getting our crap together alongside each other, because it is so much easier to do hard things when you are doing said hard thing with another person. And as you are cleaning and I am cleaning, I am going to share some of my thoughts with you, because if you're sitting here watching this video, you are technically a captive audience. So I am going to share some of my thoughts that have been bouncing around in my head recently and things that I have been working through as a recovering perfectionist. Sometimes I even wonder if I'm still recovering, because I swear I'm just freaking a freak about some things, and I'm really learning to be less of a freak, which is honestly one of the things that I want to talk about in today's video, is how not to be a control freak. Super fun. Not my favorite topic, because I do feel like I have come really far in this area of my life, simplifying my life, getting things more clear, having better boundaries, better expectations on myself has really helped. But man, I feel like every time there's a life change, I am like back to square one, and it's so frustrating to me. It's this constant practice of learning to let go, of learning to be resilient through the different phases of my life. And one of the biggest things that I've learned recently is learning that if I don't do a good job at not being a control freak, if I have one day where I am just wanting to be OCD about things, or have things a certain way, or cleaned a certain way, or on my schedule, my timing, if there's a day like that, not labeling myself as, okay, I guess I am just a perpetual control freak, and I thought that I made all this progress, but here I am back at square one. This is just who I am. No, that is not what we're going to tell ourselves, because that is a lie from the pit of you know where. The truth is that this is a practice, and there's going to be some days where I am not able to succeed in this area as much as I would like to. And the best thing that I can do for myself is to get back up and to try again, and to tell myself that this is part of having a practice, is that there's going to be days that I'm not great at it. That doesn't mean that my identity is a control freak. That doesn't mean that who I am is just this controlling person. Every single person has both sides inside of them. I was reading the story in the Bible the other day, the story of Mary and Martha. And if you're not familiar with this story, basically the concept of the story is that Jesus goes to Mary and Martha's home for dinner, and Martha was working all night long, serving dinner, keeping things clean, and really trying to be the hostess with the mostest, and she got frustrated with her sister, because the whole night her sister was just sitting at the feet of Jesus, looking at him and hanging on his every word. And Martha comes up to Jesus and says, Jesus, come on, help me out here. My sister is basically being lazy and I'm doing all the work. Can't you talk to her? And Jesus tells Martha, your sister Mary has chosen the better portion. Basically meaning your sister is in the right here. And that story has stuck with me so much. And I so believe that every person has that Mary and Martha side inside of them. We have that side that wants to control, that wants to have things done a certain way, wants to have things cleaned a certain way, wants to have things organized a certain way, wants our schedule to be a certain way, wants our relationships to be a certain way. And frankly, that's freaking exhausting. And then we also have this side of ourselves that is this Mary side. This is the side where we get to exist in deep rest, where all we have to worry about is receiving the gift of love from our Father in heaven. And it's that image of sitting by still waters in green pastures and resting and savoring life. I think that this side of ourselves, this is where the true God-given identity lies. This is the God-given identity that we are meant to exist in. We are meant to receive the gift of the gospel and rest in it. In this place, it is so much easier to let things go. It is the physical act of letting down our burdens, getting rid of the excess, getting rid of the stuff that we don't need to focus on. Like Martha in that story, she was so focused on being the perfect host, having the perfect clean home, having this image, and she didn't even have to have that image. And I don't think that this necessarily means that you can just have a messy house and not care about it. That's not at all what this means. It just means that whatever you do is from a place of freedom and abundance and security, and that we don't have to have things controlled in order for them to be good. I find that one of the benefits of cleaning my home and clearing the slate in my house, decluttering, simplifying things, is I feel like it makes so much more room for me to be inspired and to think deeply, because I'm not distracted by the stuff. It really is true that stuff that's left out or clutter or stuff that's just all over your house, it is like having an open tab on your computer where you're always like, okay, I need to circle back to that and I need to do that. I just can't do it right now. And it makes you feel like crap, honestly. And I find for myself, when I have a messy home or a messy life that's just chaotic, and it really comes down to boundaries. Like, I really think that having structure and boundaries is such a blessing and so good. And that's so different than control. Those are two very different things. One is a blessing and one is a curse. And I really think that having structure and boundaries is comforting and makes you have this feeling of security. And I think that that's totally how it is for your home and for your space and for your schedule and your life. Having boundaries and structure and saying no to things and letting go of things that you don't need anymore, it really does give you this sense of like, okay, I can breathe deeply and I can think clearly now. And I just always feel like when my house is a wreck, when my life is a wreck, when my mind is a wreck, I really do think that it's out of a place of maybe a little bit of depression or a little bit of anxiety of just not wanting to deal with my life, not wanting to deal with my surroundings, and just burying my head. And that is not a healthy place for me to stay in. And I want to practice getting back up and trying again and just doing one thing at a time. It does not have to be perfect. We're not after perfection. We're not after things looking perfect. We're not after a title of being this perfect house cleaner or this person that has it all together. We're not looking for a title or an image or a new identity from this. We are enjoying the blessings of structure and boundaries and the good that comes from that. Speaking of not doing things perfectly, man, I have just been on the struggle bus recently with bread making. I don't even know what my problem is, but I think I need to get a new sourdough starter because honestly, this loaf didn't turn out horrible, but my bread is just not rising like it should, and I'm over it. I quit. No, I think I'm just gonna get a new starter, and I'm hoping that that will help because I'm just over it not being good. And when you make a loaf of sourdough bread from scratch, it's work, okay? It takes time and there's an investment aspect to it, and you want it to turn out. You want it to be really good. So I'm going to work on that. I always slice it like this and put it in the freezer. That way I can just put it in the toaster and I don't have to worry about it going bad. So these are clips of my grocery haul. After I went through and decluttered and cleaned my whole house, I restocked my pantry with all of my grocery essentials. I like to try and get a mix of mostly healthy with like 10% not healthy. Like obviously that ramen, not healthy, but she is a winner, okay? It's delicious sometimes to have top ramen or just ramen of sorts. Really just some kind of noodle makes me so happy. So sometimes you just gotta do it. Also, these kombuchas, oh my gosh, they were so freaking good. So if you ever see those kombuchas in Costco, you got to get them because it was so good. So I cleaned out this cabinet. I had a bunch of stuff in it. It's kind of turned into my cabinet where I put all my stuff that I want to declutter. But now that it's cleaned out, I have all this space for food. So I put a bunch of pantry stuff in there and filling up my freezer, filling up my fridge. I have been on a yogurt kick. I will tell you what, it has just been hitting different, okay? I made some homemade granola last week and wow, it was just so stinking good. Also, I've been on a grape kick. All of a sudden, I've just remembered that grapes exist and I can't stop eating them. They're so good, so delicious. I always get frozen green beans because I eat them almost every day for lunch because it's so easy just to throw them in a pan with like a burger patty and some rice. Wow, it's so good. Also, this snack I'm showing you right here, definitely a weird snack, but it just sounded so good. It's mango salsa with yogurt and chips. Okay, I know it sounds so weird, but it basically just tastes like sour cream and salsa. So don't come at me for having freaky snacks. I know, okay, I get it. But it was so good, so you should give it a try. And here you are just witnessing me revel in my clean home. And you can see that's not perfect because I have something funky going on back there with my bed, but it's mostly clean. And then I had some yogurt left, so I dipped my grapes in it. Oh my gosh, it was really something. Okay, it was good. I've been using this flaky salt for baking. So I've been putting a little bit of the flaky salt on top of cookies and brownies or whatever I've been baking, and I think it definitely tastes good, but really the main reason is that I just feel like fancy. I just feel fancy, okay? So that is why I have the flaky salt. These little chickies that you're looking at are our meat birds that we got. My parents and I split a flock of meat birds that we are raising and will be butchering in a couple months. And they're pretty cute at this age, but man, it is so crazy. They grow so fast that they grow faster than their feathers, and so their feathers can't keep up, so they got little bald booties. It's so funny. I love raising my own food. There's just something about it that feels so rewarding, and I just really like knowing where my food comes from. It just feels very like full circle of life sort of thing, and it's very rewarding. So here you're looking at me planting my garden. This was from about a month ago, so the timing is a little bit late, but you can still kind of see the process of me putting my garden in and getting food in the ground. And I just feel like this is one of the first things that I want to do when I feel like my life is squared away and simplified and the slate is clear. I automatically just want to get in the mindset of creating and growing things and sowing seeds, literally and metaphorically. And I think that that is just such a testimony to not having distraction in your life. It just really makes you want to create and grow and build. And I really love it. I think it's very cool.
Something about me has changed. Something about me has changed. I'm sleeping just fine without you. Didn't know I could. Something about me feels strange. Something is just not the same. I haven't been thinking about you, even when I should.